Alright, so this morning I was messing around with my Apex and was wondering if I could add a debugger to the coding panel in the Apex. So I figured I'd give it a shot. So I gave about an hour of code, and I was able to come up with a Chrome extension that actually adds a debugger to the thing. It's not done, it's not polished, it's not perfect, it's not fantastic, but it exists and it's a good enough start to actually bother continuing working on it. I'll release this for free when I'm done. It'll be for Chrome to begin with, and another restriction is it only works on apex.local because you need to get a hold of this URL. So you might be more familiar with the XML version, but the status JSON also exists, and getting a hold of this will give us the current status of all of our probes and outlets and all that kind of shit. So that's that. So here we go. So let's take a look at this. What this does is pretty simple. So if we go ahead and pick whatchamacallit, an outlet here to look at. So I have my reef mat. So this is my filter roller. This one's boring, actually. Let's look at my fan. So here, give it a couple seconds. It'll go ahead and go into debug mode. But first, you'll notice there's a new debug button. So you can turn debugger on and off. And there's a help button here that these are new and they're added by the extension. By the way, the extension allows you to go ahead and change what URL it's on, or it operates on. So if your Apex isn't on apex.local and it's on displaytank.local or whatever the hell, or an IP address, go ahead, it'll work. You can edit this through the normal Chrome extension stuff. Anyways, long story short, this is how it works. I have added color coding to the gutter, so that would be the line numbers. The blue is not me. I'm green and red only. Blue is, I think, just normal Apex shit. It's where the mouse is. It'll do that. So here you'll see that the gutters are green or red. What those do is those will go ahead and let you know that, like, what the current status of this line is. So here you can see the temp is greater than 78.5, so the gutter is green. pH is not greater than 8.5, so it's evaluating that for us and telling us that, hey, it's red. So it's essentially saying this is not true. Now the entire line here is green because that is telling us what statement is controlling the final status of this outlet here. So here this outlet is controlling whether my fan turns on or not, and it's saying this line, temp being greater than 85, is true, hence the green in the gutter, and the whole line being green is essentially the last true statement winning. So it's saying, hey, yo, I won. You'll see a couple bugs, like this is green on the set off. I gotta actually go ahead and fix that, polish a couple things. So there's that. But if we go to my reef mat here, this one's a really boring one. This doesn't do shit, but it's just an always on. And if we go here and say if salt less than 5, then off. So if we got a new line of code, it'll go ahead and say, hey, the winner is this, and this statement or this evaluation is the salinity. I might just call my probe salt. Less than 5, no. But if it's less than 85, that should turn green, and it's being buggy and not doing it, but there you go. I got to get it to update better, but it's saying, hey, the apex is off, and it's because of this line. So the green means salt is less than 85, and the whole line being red means this line would cause this entire outlet to turn off. In this case, it would turn my reef mat off. So let's go with something slightly longer. Is my auto water change enabled? So the debugger will kick in. It takes 5 seconds. Set on, in this case, looks like it's behaving, but I gotta fix it. It's got a bug. All these other things evaluate to false. So the set on is actually what's winning here. So that's cool. So if we want to do something a little bit more complicated, I don't know if I have anything too complicated to look at, but we can just pick anything randomly. This one's all right. If we don't know how to program the stuff, there's also this question mark guy. So now you have the Apex guide kind of built in here for you. So this legend will tell you what's going on. It says green gutter means the current condition is true, red, current condition is false. Gray means we don't know what the fuck we're doing, or we can't evaluate it. So some of these, the lunar cycle stuff. No color is actually, we don't know. If the whole line is green, it means this statement wins and the out will be on. If the line is red, the statement wins and the outlet will be off. So there's a couple bugs, as you saw, that got to do, and you can see this line stopped doing. But it has these little helpful little guys. Says, how do I do, the timers stuff? How do I deal with if error? All that kind of stuff. And then these ones, it's like, hey, if you want to program them, cool. Here's the reference on how to do it. But we can't evaluate the oscillation or the min time, any of that kind of stuff. So that is it. This is an hour's worth of work. So make this. So anyways, there's a bug here. If there was a set on, I think this would look right, but I think it's implied. Anyway, so again, some bugs, still work in progress, but for the most part, it's promising enough that I'm pretty sure this is going to actually work. And once I get a bunch of this kinks ironed out, I'll go ahead and put this up on the interwebs for free for everybody. And in the meantime, I'll check out why I have an alarm going off. Cool. All right, that's your preview. Peace.